Hello, Mr. Binion. I'm going to be interviewing today. How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues?
Well, we really challenge a lot of conventions that you need all this fancy stuff and like all this fancy stuff and a big budget to make a good movie. That's really not true. Like our film, all we had a tiny budget and minimal technology. We all we used to shoot was our phone. So we didn't use any of this camera. We didn't have to buy a camera, and our film turned out pretty good for how little our budget was. So we fought the convention that you need all this stuff like a lot of money and stuff to make a good movie, and that's not true. There's a lot of movies out there now that are starting to win like Grammy nominations and all these nominations for like best movie and all that that are just made by like little kind of like unknown actors and people like that that don't have big budgets but are still making waves in what they do. And that they people also think that I can't be in a movie or all this because I'm not a big name. It won't be good because I'm not like LeBron James or Chris Evans or any like James Bond type actor. But that's not true because when those guys started out, they also started out as little actors. They didn't start off as huge actors, and they made themselves out there. So if you have a really good performance, no matter who you are, people will believe it. And we use conventions because there's a growing trend that people are starting to use their phones to record stuff instead of all these fancy cameras because of how advanced they've gotten. So this entire movie, all we did was shoot on a camera. I mean, on a phone, and we used different types of filters on it that make it look better and make it look professional quality. So we used a lot of different conventions to our advantage in this, like using a little cast because of all the stuff that's going on. So we didn't want a big cast in case there isn't a little like problem because that would stop us from recording for about 2 weeks because we'd all need to get it. So we shot with a little cast to be as safe as possible. So we used a new convention because of all the stuff that's happening in the world. Next question.
That was a great response, Mr. Binion. Now, your second question to be: how does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text?
Oh, so I think this really appeals to audiences because they kind of feel like they can be like they're one of us because we're basically one of the people that be watching this too. We're no different than the average movie watcher.